Hi guys and welcome. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at a Pt1 model kit from Meng. That's Meng, not Mung or Ming as I've heard it pronounced. Mung of course is a bean and Ming is the merciless and enemy of Flash Gordon. I'm not sure if that is the official pronunciation, but it is certainly spelt Meng, M-E-N-G. So this is the Chibi tank from the World War Toons computer game series. I know nothing about the game. I will add at this point, I just like the model kit. I think it's quite a cute little model kit. And the intention with this is to build it into a diorama, which it will be a scene from one of my favourite movies. And you can see we've got some lovely box art on the front. It's a very, very stiff cardboard box as well with opening flaps. But as you can see from that, it's really thick, sturdy cardboard, unlike your typical sort of Revell boxes or what have you. So that's nice to see. And the kit itself comes in at about £10, £11, something like that, I think it was, which is really great value when you see what comes inside the box. But we'll just have a quick look. So that's the front of the box. The sides just show some box art, same on both ends. We have this side of the box shows the basics and equipment colours set, which is available from Meng and obviously contains the relevant colours for acrylic colours for certain projects. And then on this side we have a front and side view of the actual model kit built. And as you can see, a very cute looking little thing. It explains here World War Toons is a game released by Studio Rockavan, and this is copyright, so you can see it's actually got the Rockavan logo there. And on the back you've got some screen caps of the game. Those of you who know the game will obviously, these will be familiar. As I say, myself, I'm not a gamer, so I don't know anything about it. Just give you a little bit of information about the Tiger. The Tiger 1 was the most famous German heavy tank during World War II. It saw its first combat action in late 1942, etc, etc. So what we're going to do now is pop open the box and see what we have inside. So one plastic bag, so we'll pop the box to the side. And we've got one plastic bag with lots of sprues and an instruction manual. The bag is heat sealed. I've already cut that open to just check the contents. I'm going to pop the sprues out and we'll have a close-up look at the sprues. We'll just take a quick look at the decal sheet. A very small decal sheet that's provided with the kit, and it doesn't give you a vast array of options, but you can see in there you've got everything that you need for a tiny kit of this size, really. And you've got some quite interesting, some very nice looking, let's see if I can focus on that for you, some really nice looking decals on this sheet as well. So that's the decal sheet. So the instruction book, we've got the World War Toons little cartoon cover and information, World War Toons 001, which was obviously kit number 1 of a series. There are others available. There were originally 4, but another 2 have now been released. So there's a total of 6 available kits, which is nice. Inside you've got important notes, a parts breakdown which shows the sprues that you should have and the parts that you should have. I always like to see that in kit instructions. It's nice because it means you can check things. A very straightforward, simplified assembly layout. And this is in a sort of coloured booklet format. Shows you how to attach each part in turn. You can snap fit this together. I will be gluing this as well, just for extra security, because I want to make sure it stays together. But you can use this as a snap fit kit essentially. And this layout continues throughout the book, showing the assembly process. Very, very straightforward. And then a painting guide on the next to last page, which shows you, gives you a rough idea of the paint colours for the early model Tiger tank. I won't be using that because I'll be following a paint guide based on the movie that I will be modelling it on. And on the back cover you've got nice little artwork again, the little Chibi tank and the German soldier. So that's the instructions. Regarding parts, we have two endless rubber band tracks, so it's continuous loop, no need to connect them together as you do with, say, the Tamiya ones or some of the other tank kits you will have built. They'll come with two little nubs and you sort of pin them together and either staple them or melt them. These are continuous loop tracks. I believe that when it's all assembled, because you assemble the wheels with polycaps, I believe the intention is for it to actually be able to roll so you can use it like a toy, which would explain why you've got the continuous loop rubber band tracks. The detail on them is not bad. For what they are, it's actually quite good. Obviously it's not super detailed, but a little bit of paint and a wash and a dry brush, that would bring those up very nicely. Then we have some polycaps for connecting the wheels. And then starting with the first sprue out of the box, we have, let me focus on this for you, we have road wheels and idler wheels, an exhaust shield, some U-bolt shackles and some other bits and pieces. I'm not sure what that one is just at the moment. The moulding is very nice, detail's nice. There are quite a few ejector pin marks, but hopefully they're all going to be in places that aren't going to be visible when it's built. But very nice crisp moulding, nice detail on these road wheels as well. If we can I'll try and bring one of those closer for you. So as you can see there, the next sprue is an exact replica of the first one. Road wheels, obviously it's one side and the other. Road wheels, exhaust shield, shackles and bits and pieces. On this next sprue, we've got the base of the tank, the bathtub base, I think armour modelers call them. I'm not typically an armour modeler, so I'm probably going to get some of these phrases wrong and what have you, but we've got the base of the tank, the bottom half of the tub. And we've got a couple of the mud guards down here. These little trumpety looking things that sit on the side of the turret, I have no idea what they're for. I've seen them on tanks numerous times and I don't know what they're for, so if you could enlighten me, please do so. We've got some tools, a shovel there, we've got some spare track links which obviously are fixed to the body, this one to the front of the tank, a long line of spare track links, and then this one probably affixes to the side of the turret, I'm guessing. And then we've got various hatches up here, the two halves of the 88mm cannon, tiny cannon, and then the mantlet up here. Again, very nicely moulded. Again, quite a few ejector pin marks, but all seem to be on the underside in places where they're not going to be particularly noticeable once fitted, hopefully. So pop that one to the side. We then have the upper portion of the hull, the lid, if you will, and with some moulded in details such as the tow cables over here and some of the hatches here and a little hatchet tool and hatches and whatnot at the back. I don't know if that's for fuel, that may be a fuel cap, I'm not sure. And then we've got some tow cable detail on the side. Let's get that in focus for you. Tow cable detail on the side and tow cable detail on this side. So that will, I think that they're quite nicely moulded actually. They do look quite good. And again, underneath there are some very obvious ejector pin marks, but again, these will hopefully not be visible. Well, these inside certainly won't be, and hopefully these won't be too visible once it's all together. I will mention at this point, I thought at first that I had a fault with my kit because, as you can see there, there's a bend there. I thought it had been squashed in the box or packaged in and being bent as a result of being packaged too tightly or some such. But it is in fact intended to be like that. It shows it like that in the instructions. That's something I was going to ask if anyone else has who's built one has had this, and obviously they have because it's in the instructions, so it is intended. So it is intended to look like that. And then the final sprue, we have the two halves that the road wheels and tracks are fixed to on either side, and then the two halves of the turret and the turret upper, very nicely moulded again. The rear panel, the bit that the tiger's vulnerable spot, I do know that much from watching movies, it's the bit that they tried to shoot the tiger in. We have the machine gun, the headlight, this bit here I'm not sure, some handles, and then the this portion here which goes on the commander's cupola, or cupola, however you pronounce that, up here. And yet again, flip that over, some very obvious eject pin marks, but yet again it should all be invisible once it's all buttoned up and fastened together. Again, very nicely moulded. So that's all the sprues. Just zoom back out there, and you get a surprising amount of parts and sprues in this kit to see, considering what it is. And as I say, that's quite a lot of plastic for the sort of 11 pounds or so that it costs you. And obviously, if somebody is obsessive about detail and building period accurate replica model kits, then obviously this is not going to appeal to them. But this kit's proving to be very, very popular. Well, the Meng World War Toons kits generally are proving to be very, very popular, and I think they're a potential great kit for getting kids into modelling. It's the kind of thing that I would have loved as a kid, something like this, which you can snap fit together. You can paint if you want, but you don't have to, and you can play with it like a toy afterwards, so that's fantastic. So that's what's in the box. The next step, as ever, is to give everything a wash on these sprues in soapy water, rinse them off, and then dry them, and then I can start the assembly process. So we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.